Hey everybody, Steven here, and today I'm looking at the Nainka Light Pro wireless earbud. Hopefully I'm pronouncing the name right with this, but interesting package with this. This is different than anything else I've seen, and I think part of it is the color scheme. I just haven't had a package with anything that I've used so far that's like a Christmas green with this. These are coming out of China. It says that on the back with this, but interesting choice in color. I will say that, especially since the product is white or black in terms of the color scheme that you can actually get with this. Now, I do like the fact it slides out of the side and then it opens up differently than any other package I've had for the wireless earbuds, right? I've seen this style before, but different for this. Open that up, and then I have the black ones there. They are sitting right there. So it looks good in here. Up top, it looks like we have our charging cable, I'm assuming, or, oh, that's a thick foam pad to sit in there. All right. Is that it? Hold on. I don't think there's anything underneath this. Potentially. They put that snug in there. Let me see if I can get that out. Nope, that is just empty space. So we have our charging cable in here. I'm assuming the user manual as well. Yep, that is wrapped up in it. So let's look at these two. Curious to see the length on this. Smaller one, and usually they're about this size, right? They're not massive with this. USB Type-C, pretty common. That's the charging cable length. And then we have our user manual. Now, this is $59.99. I will have a code in the description. So not only a link for their website, but a code as well. So if you go to their actual website and you use the code, I think it's NerdCore16, you will get 16% off of their website. Now, if you go to Amazon, it's normally $59. It says $59.90. I'm assuming that was supposed to be $59.99. Discounted 10% right now, so discounted $6, so it's $53.90. And then there's a coupon for an additional 5% off. That is 15% off. It's basically the same thing. So if you don't want to go through their website, you can use Amazon. I will have that link as well, so you could do that if you want to get it a little bit quicker. Because I'm assuming if you buy it through their website, it probably takes a little bit longer if you're in the U.S. I don't know about other countries, but probably going to take a little bit longer if you're in the U.S. So this is a shiny. I already have fingerprints all over it. This is shiny. So good size, small, circular, probably fits in the pocket quite well. Open that up. Whoa, we have our magnets there, but we have our two earbuds on the top. Let's slide these out. Plastic for all of this. They look like Apple EarPods, right? So it's got the stick thing versus the ones that just stick directly into the ear with this. But let's get this thing paired up. So let's see how easy it is to pair up. If this even has battery to it. I'm not seeing that light flash. I may have one that isn't charged up yet. Which that'll be fine. We'll just have to see, is there a button that you push? There's no button, reset button on the back. Looks like I'm gonna have to charge this guy up because that is not showing up. All right, we're going to cut to me having this thing charged so I can actually use these. Usually there's a quick charge, though, so it doesn't take forever with this. Quick on the specs. Bluetooth 5.2, Qualcomm QCC 3040 for the chip in this. IPX5, so it's water resistance. I think on the back here it says, let's say that's 4 grams. Yeah, these are 4 grams. They're very lightweight. I can tell you just hold them. They're really lightweight. That actually almost makes me nervous, like I'm going to lose them really easily or they're going to fall out of my ear. But it has the environmental noise cancellation with this. These are 13 millimeter drivers. So it should have good sound with this. It does have a game mode, so it reduces any type of latency with this. You have Light Pro Game Mode and Light Pro Normal Mode. So it reduces the latency by 0.05 seconds. I think that's it. As long as the cover is open, it will automatically connect to your phone without, once I actually get it connected, but it's not charged up right now. Sensitivity with this, 97 decibels. Built-in dual mics, we usually see that with these as well. So now let's get it charged up, and then I can do the sound test with this. All right, so I've charged this up. Originally, I plugged it in and nothing happened, and that actually had me concerned. Like, the light didn't illuminate. I figured, hey, you plug this in, you'll see the red light pretty quick, and nothing actually happened. But a couple minutes later, it actually turned on. So I'm wondering if they sent this to me, it had been sitting there for a long time, and so the battery was just completely depleted, obviously, with that, but so much so that when I plugged this in, it just needed to get a little bit more juice before it would even illuminate this light. So came back after a couple hours. It's actually turned green, so we should be good to go. So let's pull up Bluetooth on the phone here, and let's see how easily. So I've pulled it open. We have our green light, and there it is. Nanka Light Pro. Click on that, and that's it. And I can just hear it actually right now say it was connected. So let's pull out an earbud. These are for sure really, really light. Oh, and my music just started playing. I'll turn that down a little bit. Yeah, very, very light. Fit in the ears, decent. I'm trying to shake my head a little bit here. I won't really know until I go do the workout. Just sitting here, it feels comfortable. Very, very light. Like I said, I'm curious about the workout, but if you weren't going to be doing that, I don't think you would have an issue with this at all. Let me plug in both really quick. Now, these can work independent of one another if you want to do that. Let's hear the volume. I'm going to crank these all the way up. So you can probably hear that. Decent sound. They're not the loudest I've used, but it's definitely loud enough. And then learning the touch controls on this. So you press once and actually turns the volume down, where other ones it may stop or skip a song. Yeah. So sound is good with this. I'll have to look at the touch controls on this. Use the magnet, clicks into this. I like the shape of this case. Good bass. Kind of down the middle of the road. There's some that I've used where it has a higher amount of bass, but it's still good enough. It doesn't fall flat with this. But I thought the 13 millimeter drivers would get louder than this. Does it necessarily need to? I think maybe a little bit more volume would have been nice, but it still gets plenty loud for most people. I wouldn't be using this on max volume. And if I'm using that, like I'm at a gym where they're just blaring the music. I'm on an airplane where it's just the ambient noise of the plane is kind of like that low hum, so I need to crank it up. Should be plenty for anybody with this. So single charging supports the playtime up to 7 hours and 28 hours with the backup of the charging case. So with this, you're getting 35 hours. That's right in the realm of what I typically see, anywhere from 30 to 40 hours. Some are a lot higher. The Vankyo goes, I want to say that gets like maybe close to 80. Like, it's ridiculous. But the case, it has a huge battery, so it's incredibly heavy. This thing's super light. And the actual headphones themselves, I'm surprised that you'll get 7 hours out of these considering how light they are, but that's pretty awesome. Some of them you're usually like maybe 4 or 5 hours with this, so 7 hours on this by itself. So my computer freeze up here. I don't really need this because the next portion outside of the specs that I've already covered is really just taking this to the gym to see how it does with my workout. And I do play music in the background. I'm going to turn this off because I'm going to start yelling. I will do the workout. I'll try to do some more dynamic based movements where I'm jumping or burpees, whatever it may be, so my head is moving around a little bit. I need to do a phone call with this as well, just to actually see with the mics. It did say that it had two. I don't get why it's not maybe loaded in again. And it is Bluetooth 5.2 on the Amazon listing, but Bluetooth 5.0 on this. I've noticed that with a lot of products that I get. Like, the Amazon listing will be different than and now it's not working at all, than the listing that'll be on Amazon. So I'm curious as to why that is. Maybe it's my internet. Nope, we're good there. There it goes. So I usually don't use game mode, and I have with another pair of headphones. I don't notice the difference between the low latency or not with that. I'll click it in for a second and try it out and give my opinion, but I'm not going to shoot B-roll to actually showcase that because that's kind of a pain to actually get all set up with this. I think that's it. And they said 4 grams on this. Here it's saying 3.8 grams. So yeah, quite light with this. I mentioned the IPX5. Um, it doesn't say the distance with the 5.2, I believe, for the Bluetooth. If I remember correctly, on some of them, I think it's like 50 to 60 feet with that. So, I mean, plenty of distance between you and whatever you're pairing it to, whether it's your phone or maybe you have a watch that can act as a phone or an iPad or a tablet, whatever it may be. You should have plenty of distance between you and that object that these will still work before they start to break up. Maybe in your house, I do this where I walk to other rooms, my phone's in here, and they still work pretty good. But I will test that out at the gym because my gym is 45 foot long. And then if I go outside, it's actually a brick and mortar. So if I can hear it outside of that, that's pretty good in my opinion because the signal's going through that brick and mortar. So going to take this to the gym, try it out. When we cut back, I'm going to talk about my experience at the gym, what I thought in terms of how this held in the ear, the comfort for the longer workout, how the sound did with the background music that I played, just so it kind of mimics a gym environment. Because I have a private training studio, so I won't be at the regular gym. And then do the phone call with this and see how the quality with that is as well. So we're going to cut ahead. We'll have all of that done, and then I'll talk about my experience with this. All right, so it is the next day. Yesterday evening, I took these to the gym. Did a workout with them. I'll make sure footage pops up showcasing at least a portion of the workout. And these performed really, really well. My concern about the staying in the ears, it actually fit and it stayed perfectly. I didn't have any issues with that. That was a big concern of mine, that they were potentially going to fall out because they just feel so light in the ears. And yeah, I didn't have a problem at all. So doing burpees, doing some of the mace swings, hand-foot crawl, things like this, and no issues. So happy to report that. So I think that's one of the big upsides with this is that these are so light. So I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute, but rest of the workout, so like I said, didn't have any problems with it falling out. The sound quality was really, really good. Using the other speaker in my gym and playing music so that I had like ambient noise around me. Couldn't hear the music outside of the earbuds, which was really, really nice. So no issues there. And then I did the test where I checked the Bluetooth range. So I went outside the building. So the building is 45 foot long. And so I put my phone at the wall, walked all the way outside, and that's brick and mortar, and it's thick. It's the big stuff, right? So that's what, a foot, I think is how wide it is. And went outside to my car, and right at my car, which is about 50 to 55 feet, I'd probably say about 55 feet, that's when it finally started to break up a little bit. And that's through there's actually one wall that I have to walk through. I have to go through the little front office and then through that brick and mortar. So that foot of brick and mortar and then to my car. So I think these may even get you, if it's an open area, probably about 60 feet maybe with this. So range is really good on this. I'm not a huge sweater when it comes to working out. I do a little bit, not a ton, but these didn't have any problem with that. So overall, I'm really, really happy with these. So let's talk about kind of the upside to this, and that's the big one that I mentioned. These are very, very lightweight. So I don't own Apple AirPods, but I've heard people, that was one of the concerns, is that they felt so light, it felt like it was going to fall out of your ears, and then it didn't. You didn't have any issues with that. I think that's the same situation with these. They feel so light, they feel like they're going to fall out of the ears, but they don't, which I'm happy to report that. And I think that's going to be the big draw here. So some of the other wireless earbuds that I've used, they either have the tips on them, right, the silicone tips, so you can swap those out so they fit in the ear really, really snug. And with that too, it's extremely noise canceling, but you also feel the pressure of that, and they have a little bit more weight to them than this for sure. So if you're looking for something lighter, I would say this is a good option. The earbuds too, if they're just purely the earbuds and you don't have like the stick portion of it, the tendency is you're going to hit that button a lot when you take it out. This, you could just grab that, pull it out. You're less likely to actually hit the touch controls than the other wireless earbuds. I did use the touch controls. Took me a minute to kind of recognize what was what, but didn't have any issues with that. It worked really, really well. And trying to think of anything else with this that would potentially be a downside. Maybe the price, because it is a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones that you're finding that are like $20 to maybe $40. So I think the upside is them being light. That may be something worth paying a little bit more for if you're sensitive to them being in your ears, or you're sensitive to just the weight of something like that in terms of long-term use. That's one of the things that I always think of is this gonna, as it's pushing on my ears, is it gonna create an issue long term where I'm an hour into a workout and now my ear is aching or something like that, or maybe I'm doing yard work. So something else that like I said, maybe a big draw is really that. It'll boil down to the person. Do you think it's worth, because you'll get the extra 5% off, so this gets you right around that $50 price range. So do I think it is worth that? I think if the draw is to be light, good battery life, good sound, then yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. So that's one of those things where there's so many different options on the market. What's the big draw for you? Go with the product that fits that. Like I said, I talked about the Vankyo ones. If you need something that has extremely long, like that thing is, like I said, like 60 to 80 hours or something like that. If you need that type of battery life, that's the better fit if you don't care about how bulky they are, right? Because they are a little bit bigger. They do weigh definitely more than this. So downside, I would definitely say the case is a fingerprint magnet. We can see already on this. I don't think that's a huge negative necessarily, but it's going to get scuff marks all over it. It's a fingerprint magnet. So if that is a concern for you, like I said, maybe not the product for you. I don't really care so much about that as long as this thing actually recharges this and it holds them in the top, for instance, doesn't break off. That would be a bigger issue with this. So that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to have a link for this in the description. And if there's anything that I didn't answer in this, maybe you had some questions that I didn't answer directly in this, let me know in the comment section. I will make sure that I actually answer those for you. And actually, one thing before I wrap this up, call. I did a call. With all of these, it's the same situation where it's like you can definitely tell that somebody's on a device. And so my wife could tell that I was on a device, but the sound quality was really, really good on her end. So she said it sounded really, really great. And then on my end, I could hear her crystal clear. So there wasn't any issues with that. So for calls, this would be good. I think with the stick too, because the mic's a little bit lower, you're probably going to get a little bit better pickup than the earbuds that are just directly in the ear would be one of the things I would think would happen, but they all kind of sound the same with this. So, but it did work fine, no problems with that. So that's going to wrap this video up. I'm going to make sure that a link for this is in the description if you guys need to pick this up. I will have a couple other links for the other videos that I've done with some of the top ones in terms of wireless earbuds that I've actually reviewed, so you guys can find that as well. There I will have the website and then the discount code, like I mentioned, if you want to buy it directly from their website versus buying this off Amazon, your call on that. But that's going to be it for this one, everybody. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Thanks so much for watching.